Well, I started at University of Illinois as a classical trombone major, and while I was there, I discovered jazz, which was not a program there, but they had a thriving jazz scene in town. So I learned to play jazz. I became a jazz trombone player. But at the same time, I found out that there was this really cool electronic music studio at the University of Illinois, the Experimental Music Studios, which was one of the first electronic music studios in the world. So I took some classes there and studied with the faculty there, and this is the late 80s. Learned how to do analog synthesis and MIDI and all that kind of cool stuff back when it was still very new. So I graduated. I designed my own music technology degree there, and I graduated, and also learned audio engineering from the director of audio services there. So I learned how to record classical music and jazz. And then when I graduated, I got a job at the Oberlin Conservatory of Music, where after a couple of years I became the director of audio services. So I did there what my mentor had done at University of Illinois. I supervised a recording of all the concerts at the Oberlin Conservatory, and also started teaching a class. I started the first audio engineering class at the Oberlin Conservatory and taught that for 10 years. So that was really exciting and a great honor to be able to do that at such a fine school. So after being there for 14 years, I saw this job advertisement for the Lamont School of Music in Denver, and I came out here for a job interview, and I got off the plane in February, and it was sunny and blue sky and warm, and everybody was happy, and the cab driver was happy, and the ticket person was happy, and what is the sunshine doing? So I interviewed here when our facility was brand new. It had just opened, and just really fell in love with the place and the people. And fortunately, I got the job, and that was about 19 years ago. Since then, I've been able to, I designed all these audio engineering music production classes, turned it into a major after a couple of years, and here we are now. We have an award-winning audio engineering music production program. As an engineer, a recording engineer, and a music producer myself, music exists on a stylistic continuum from maybe classical music on one side to rock and roll and hip hop and all that kind of stuff on the other end, and jazz is somewhere in the middle, and just about any style of music, you know, musically and as far as production style, lives somewhere along that continuum. And the audio engineering production techniques that you use exist on that continuum as well. You have to be able to learn, if you want to work and be a really well-rounded engineer and music producer, you need to be able to know how to record a string quartet in an appropriate style. You need to be able to record a hard rock band, a jazz band. Especially today as music has become so eclectic and the job market has become very eclectic. People kind of need to know how to do a lot of different things, because you might not get hired at a recording studio these days. You might open a recording studio, or you might be an independent contractor who engineers and produces for people. And maybe you write too, and maybe you play on somebody's sessions. So what I do in the program here is teach the engineering and production techniques so that my students can move anywhere along that continuum. They know how to record any kind of music, because it's all just kind of an adjustment from one end to the other. And along with that is an emphasis on incorporating their own music into the program. So very early in the quarter, this year, my freshman students at the beginning of their first fall quarter will have 2 recording sessions where we will be recording their own music played by all the members of the class. And then when they come back after holiday break in winter quarter, they'll learn how to mix and master that music. So right off the bat, they're recording their own music, they're learning how to do all these different styles, and after 4 years of this, they become kind of more specialized as they go through the program, and they kind of go off in different directions and dig into different things. But when they leave, they are creators of music, they're producers of music, they know how to engineer all kinds of different styles of music. And what they end up doing, I do have graduates who are working as staff engineers at some great studios around the country. I have graduates who are independent producers, performers, songwriters with major label credits, some of them out in LA. I have students involved in digital signal processing programming for software, music business, teachers, and of course performing artists. So they're doing all kinds of different stuff all over the spectrum out there. We have been accepting between 5 and 10 every year out of initial applicant pool of about 125. So right now I think I have about somewhere between 50 and 20 in the whole program. And the nice thing about that, that we only accept 5 to 10 each year, more like 5 or 6, is that is the class size. The class size is, right now, I think my biggest class might be 7 students working with me. So lots of individual attention, lots of access to the studio. It's not a crowded program. That's a good thing. From the engineering production side of things, basic, solid engineering skills, microphone technique, how to record any kind of music, mixing, equalization, compression, dynamics, use of effects, editing, how to use cutting-edge hardware and software to produce any kind of music. We go into electronic music. We have 3 new electronic music studios that have Ableton Live software in all of the studios, so software-based synthesis as well as plenty of hardware synthesizers, analog synthesizers, digital synthesizers, analog modular synthesis, video modular synthesis. Through the course of the engineering and production classes, we go into songwriting, we go into arranging, we go into being a performer or a recording artist, and do lots of that. And along with all of that, because this is a Bachelor of Music degree, my students are working with these terrific faculty, getting weekly 1-hour lessons on their instrument or voice. They're performing in ensembles, they're learning music theory, jazz improvisation, music history, musicology, everything that it takes to really wrap your mind around music and become a well-rounded, successful musical professional. The facilities here, we're sitting in Studio A, recording Studio A. This is multi-track Pro Tools-based studio with a fabulous 24 input analog mixing console that just sounds beautiful. We have a second studio across the hall, which is mixing, mastering, and live recording. We also have a 5.1 surround audio system over there. And then a block away over at the Wesley Hall Studios, we have 3 electronic music studios. We have one that is kind of optimized for EDM, electronic dance music production, beat making, hip hop, Ableton Live in that studio. Studio B is optimized for film scoring. We have surround mixing over there and synthesizers there as well. And then Studio A is the big room with all the big toys and the modular synthesis and a very expensive Moog 1 analog synthesizer. And so between those 5 studios, with only 15 or 20 students in the program, we never have problem with studio access. I never get complaints that studios can't get time. They're always able to get in here and get plenty of time in the studios. Why come here? Small class size, lots of individual attention, fabulous cutting edge studios, great equipment, brand new electronic music facilities. Whatever you want to do, classical music, jazz, rock, popular music, you can do here. Some of the best concert halls in the world. Beautiful facility. And the city of Denver right now is a fantastic place to be. The music scene here is exploding. The local arts scene, and especially the local arts technology scene, is taking off. The economy is great. It's a fun city. It's a fabulous city. It's sunny. Who would not want to come here and do this program?